Okay. There are certain questions which may be asked in the board examination on data file handling. So we are going to discuss these questions. First question, name the streams used for data file handling. So now what are the streams used for data file handling? There are two streams. Number one, first one is a character stream, and number two is the byte stream. So these are the two streams which are used for data file handling. Basically, character stream is used for text data track data file, and byte stream is used for binary data file. Now, which stream performs input-output operations using 8-bit bytes? Now, byte stream uses 8-bit bytes for input-output operations in order to create the binary data file. And question number 3, character stream performs input-output operations using how many bit bytes? Character stream uses 16-bit byte, and that is Unicode. In order to perform the input-output operations on text file. Okay, then question number 4, name two types of data file. Now, we all know that two types of data file is, one is the text file and another is the binary data file. So we have two types of data file. Then what are text data files? Now, in text data file, information is stored in high level language, that is English language. So it is easy to understand. And what are binary data files? In this, information is stored in low level language, that is in machine language, and it is hard to read or understand. Now, give one advantage of text data file and one advantage of binary data file. So text data file का advantage क्या हुआ? What is the advantage of text data file? It is easy to understand and can be easily read through notepads. Text file easily read and understood through notepads, notepad or Excel. We can transfer the data into Excel also easily, or Word files. We can open these files in Word also. So because they are in the data is and information stored in text file is in high level language, that is English language. And on the other hand, binary file What is the advantage of using a binary file? Good for security purpose, because the data written in it is in machine language, which cannot be understood by the user very easily. So it is good for security purpose. Then name the modes in which we can open a file. Now basically there are three modes in which you can open a file. Number one is the output mode, to write information into the file. When we want to write information into any file, we will open that file in output mode, whether it is a text file or whether it is a binary file. Then we have the input mode, to read information from the file. So if you want to read information from any file, whether it is a text file or a binary file, we will open the file in input mode. And number three, append mode, to add more records to the existing file. So if you want to add more records to an existing file, we will open the file in append mode, whether it is a uh, binary file or whether it is a text file. Remember that whenever we open a existing file in append mode, the control will set at the end of the last record, so that whenever you are adding more records, they are added at the end. Otherwise, if you open the file in output mode, the control will be set on the top. So if it is a blank file, there is no problem. But if it is an existing file and the control is at the top on the first record, the previous record will get deleted. So that is why the existing file you always open in append mode, so that we can add more records to it. Now, in order to create a new data file, we will open the file in which mode? ऊपर ही बताया है, if you want to open a file to create, then you will open the file in output mode. Output mode. Now, in which mode you will open a data file to read the data from the file? It has been discussed above. Input mode. And in order to add more records to an existing file, we will open the data file in append mode. This we have discussed in the previous question. Okay. Now, name the stream classes, or let us say class. We'll just make changes here. It should be class. Okay, name the stream class to open a binary file in output mode. So we have been asked only to write down the name of the class. So if you want to open a binary file in output mode, then the stream class will be file output stream. And in the same way, if you want to open a binary file in input mode, then the stream class which is used is file input stream. Then the stream class to open a text file in output mode, so we will write file writer. This is the name of the class which will open a text file in output mode. And for input mode, we will use file reader. Okay. Now, how you are going to open a binary file, data file in append mode? Now, how we can open a binary data file in append mode? By simply doing the following. Now, what are we going to do? By writing true. ये true word लिखना पड़ेगा. By writing true, just after the data file name in with the file output stream class. For example, file output stream object name FOS is equal to new file output stream, and then we write down the name of the data file. Student.dat, let us say, and then we write down this true. So this is how we can open a binary data file in append mode. In the same way, if we want to open a text file, text data file in append mode, we will just write by writing true just after the data file name when we create object using file writer. So this will be file writer fw object name new, again file writer, student dot, let us say txt, comma. So I will just make a change here in the above line also. Name using file output. So it is a better language now. When we create object using file output. So this is for the binary data file and this is for the text data file. Now, name the package that includes file input output stream classes. The package is java.io. Okay. And name the keyword that is used to include package. Name the keyword that is used to include package in your program, and that is import keyword. Using the import keyword, you can include the packages. And what is the definition of package? It is the collection of classes. Now here I want to tell you that package is a collection of classes. So if I represent this by a diagram, this big block is a package, and within this big block, if we have smaller blocks inside it, then these are classes. So the outermost is the package. This one is the package. I will just label it. This one is the package. And the smaller blocks are the classes. And within the class, you will find functions. So ये circle है. These circle are representing functions. So in a class, you can have more than one functions. I'll just represent it by here I am representing with two circles, means having two functions, but it may have more functions. So the outermost is the package, then we have the classes, and then in the circle we have the functions. So if you want to use this particular function, we have to make object for this class, the inner class. But if you want to access this class, then we have to include the package. So this is how the package works. Now that is why we call that a package is a collection of classes, and classes is a collection of functions. Now, which function is used to write the data into a text file? If you want to write the data into a text file, we make use of a function print ln, and also we can write data using print. This we have discussed in the class. Using print function or print ln function, we can write down the data into a text file. And which function is used to read the data from the text file? We use readline function. It is a readline function is a function of buffer reader class, and it will read every value in the form of a string, whether it is a number or whether it is a double number or integer or a string. It will always read in a string, and thereafter, if it is reading a number, we need to convert it into integer or double. But this is not the case with the binary data file, because for binary data file we have separate functions to write different values and to read different values. Like here, if I want to write data into a binary data file and the value is in integer, then we will use write in with the variable name to write the integer value. If it is a double value, we will use write double along with the variable name. And if it is a string, we will use write UTF along with the variable name. And if it is a character, we will use write char along with the variable. So these are the different functions which are used to write different values in a binary data file. In the same way, if you want to read different values from the binary data file, we will make use of a function read int for integer and read double for double value and read UTF for a string value and read char for a character value. So we see that we have different types of functions for different data types in binary file handling. Now the next question is, which class object is used to write the data in the text data file? So which class object? It is asking you the name of the class. So you should know the name of the class whose object is used to write the data in the text data file. So the answer for this is print writer. Now, if you remember that when we create object for print writer, we used to write print writer pw is equal to new print writer, and within bracket this was connected with the buffered writer object, and whenever we want to write any value into a text data file, we make use of pw object, that is the print writer class object, using println along with it, println and the name of the variable. Now this variable can be any variable, can be integer variable, can be a string variable, can be a character variable, but the main the main answer for this, it is asked here, which class object. So which class object? Print writer class object is used along with the function println to write the data into the text file. And the last one more, then I will continue later on. Which class object is used to read the data from the text file? Now reading, which class? So it will be buffered reader class. So if you remember that we create an object for buffered reader as buffer reader is the name of the class, br is equal to new buffered reader, and this was connected with the file reader object fr, and whenever I want to read information from the text data file, we use this object br dot readline, and the syntax was somewhat as follows. Suppose if you want to read a string, we just write down string, let us say name is equal to br dot readline, so it will read a string. And if you want to read an integer value, so we used int num, let us say num is equal to integer. Why are we using integer dot parseInt? Because all the values which is read by the br dot readline, this function is read in string, and that is to be converted into numeric value whenever you are using it. Okay, so these are the answers. I will be posting them in the group, and I will be also sending you the link of this recording of this lecture on the YouTube channel. You can go through it. Okay, class. We'll continue later on with the other questions which are left over. Like these questions, we are going to do it later on Monday. Thank you, class.
Okay, sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Have a nice day, sir.